the most effective thing they could do to help move the needle for you guys on getting these last two votes or last two signatures for the discharge petition?
I would say call your congressman if he or she is a Republican. If your congressman is already on the bill, don't make the phone call. But that's what we need, and if you're looking for people who might be persuadable, I think they're all persuadable. Also, look at the 10 Republicans who co-sponsored the legislation who haven't yet signed it. They must be under immense pressure from the White House not to sign this. They need to hear from their voters, not from other people outside of their district, only the people who can vote for them. Be polite. Don't say, I'll never vote for you again if you don't do this. And shoot a few cents on those phone calls. And don't give up. Like, it's going to take persistence.
Does it feel like standing up against the president?
Does it feel like
standing up against President Trump doing this?
Not to me, but the attorney here said that they just want the president to adopt the position he had 9 years ago. I just want him to adopt the position he had 9 months ago, which was his attorney general, his vice president, said that they need a full release of it, and that there was material.
You haven't been pressured to drop this?
Very much. There are $2 million of ads being run against me from $1 million at a time from now until next May, when my next election is. But that's okay.
Have you been getting
by the way, the survivors face far more pressure and far worse consequences than any politician ever. Nobody should be afraid to stand up to these survivors because they're going through so much. It's petty to think that we're being punished politically for this.
Just a quick question.
That almost every member of Congress has been supported by AIPAC. For all the members that do not support your bill, will you support an independent movement to kick them out of office to replace Congress?
Which was the question there? I don't support kicking all of my colleagues out of Congress. I do support them doing the right thing. It's not always about getting the right person elected. Most of the time you're going to get the wrong person to do the right thing.
Congressman, you may have gone over this, I'm sorry, but the White House says it's a hostile act. Do you view this as a hostile act?
I don't think what the survivors did today is a hostile act. I don't think this is a hoax. The White House has used a lot of rhetoric, which is not appropriate for this situation. It's never a hostile act to stand up for survivors. Maybe politically, it's a hostile act to some of the elite both parties, but I think it is a hostile act to the swamp. I'm happy to engage in.
Are you asking or applying any pressure to other Republicans to sign off on this, and if so, who and how are you doing it?
I can't apply pressure.
You haven't spoken to any of them?
I don't apply pressure. The only people that can apply pressure to my colleagues are the constituents, the people who can vote for them.
But have you asked them personally to sign off?
I've asked several of them to sign.
And who is that?
Well, actually, I asked everybody at the conference this morning to sign it. When the speaker was disseminating false information about this resolution that will become a bill, I stood up, counteracted the false information, and requested all.
But not individually?
I've talked to a few individually.
And their responses?
They're there. I can't tell you the response verbatim. It's pretty obvious that they're in the White House. Otherwise, this is a no-brainer. It's politically a no-brainer. If they're in a tough district to win between Republicans and Democrats, independents support this bill. That's how you win your next election. You support this bill. If you're in a district where that's all Republicans and you know the Republican is going to win, then Republicans support this 80%. The Democrats support this. We weren't here to make a political case today, but that's the case you have to make to my colleagues.
But how is it a no-brainer, though? I mean, if you're going to have the President of the United States and his donors coming out against him, potentially running primary.
Because ultimately the donors can't vote, and the constituents are overwhelmingly supportive of this issue, so they could spend any amount of money on this issue.
Well, they won't spend the money on this issue, right?
Yeah, they'll still.
All right, you guys, I'm going to try to get it.
But you build a trust with your constituents when they see you take stands on this. And I mean, don't want rubber
How much do you think they still care?
You can gain a lot of credibility right now by staking out a position that's consistent with the president's position months ago.
How much do you think they still care? Because you hear Charlie Kirk saying, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. There's a perception among some that, Donald Trump said not to talk about this, we're not going to talk about it. How prevalent do you think that is among just your ordinary voters?
I have heard congressmen, as recently as yesterday, in a closed meeting say, don't know, don't care. Well, it's time to know, and it's time to care. And so whether it's a social media influencer, I know people are somewhat worn out on this topic. They've heard the Epstein, even the survivors talked about how they don't like it when new conspiracy theories come out that can't be dispelled because there's no release of the files. So the best way, if you're a social media influencer and you're sick of this topic, or if you're a congressman and you're sick of this topic, the best way to make it go away is to release all the
What specifically in the bill is it that they're pushing it through?
Well, right now, the DOJ is basically investigating themselves. They're curating the release of all this material to the Oversight Committee. The Oversight Committee is only getting what the DOJ wants them to get. And that is why the White House or the DOJ might consider it adverse to them to pass my bill, because my bill would force them to release the material. It's not a request, it's not even a subpoena, it's a law, it's a requirement to give us this information.
When something like this happens, usually the White House will do whatever they can to distract.
Let me take it.
Why won't other Republicans kind of back that up?
It's pretty simple. They're afraid of the White House. There are people at the White House that you communicate with at different levels, and at all of those levels, they are engaged on this. So the Legislative Affairs Department of the White House is engaged on this. Staff at the White House is engaged with staff, members of Congress. The president himself is engaged with members of Congress. You've also got members of Congress running for statewide elected offices, and they cannot afford to alienate the president. Maybe they could take one or two positions that are adverse to the president and still get reelected to Congress, but they feel like that's going to hurt them in the statewide campaign. They haven't built trust with the entire state, so that's another reason they see some people are reluctant.
But you're not afraid of it?
Hey, so in 2023, JP Morgan Chase paid $75 million to settle claims that the bank enabled Epstein's sex trafficking claims. Is it possible these documents that Republicans and Trump are trying to prevent from coming out have important information that the banks knew about Epstein's actions?
Absolutely. The first rule of any investigation is follow the money. So we got to follow the bank records. And that is one thing the Oversight Committee is doing that I applaud. Let's hope they get it out there. They can't just hold that information in their committee. Follow the money. Which accounts did it come from? Which accounts did it go to? And that's the quickest way to figure out who was doing what.
When something this big happens, usually the White House will try to distract from especially this issue. Are you worried that they're going to do that, and what do you think it might do?
Well, they've already tried that. The Speaker of the House sent us on recess for 5 weeks early.
I meant today, but yes.
To try to make this issue go away. Today, they did a flyover of the Capitol. That flyover, I believe, was scheduled after this press conference was announced. And if I don't know that they did that on purpose, but if they did, that would be highly suspicious. There will be no limit to the weapons of mass distraction that the White House will apply to try to make this go away. But the thing is, these survivors have spoken today, some for the very first time. And now there are faces and voices associated with this that will not go away. We heard it from the survivors, we heard it from me. We're not going to let this issue go. And the discharge petition stays live for another 16 months, until the end of Congress. Like, can you imagine just needing 1 or 2 more signatures for 14 more months? People are going to hear this at every town hall. It might not be the most important thing for everybody at the town hall, but somebody at every town hall is going to ask that question. Why didn't you sign the discharge petition? What are you hiding?
Thank you for
member.
Thank you, Congressman.
Are you surprised? I know you talked about the powerful pressure that the White House can exert, but the fact that there are two efforts to do this, and your effort actually has the backing of all of the victims, are you surprised that more Republicans are not already vocally on board?
Well, I made a tactical mistake. I collected 12 co-sponsors of this legislation on the Republican side of the aisle when I didn't need any co-sponsors. Doing it to show that here are the members of Congress most likely to sign this document when it ripens. And now that it's ripened, the White House they have a list. They have a list of 12 Republicans to follow up every day to all people in their district.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that they're ready to come
Like
together.
they're surrounded 360 degrees. I expect
This is an issue that should bring everybody together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the news that one of the survivors made today, that there is going to be an effort among them to put together a kind of list of perpetrators potentially. Is there a role for you all to play in that too? And are you going to be working hand in hand with them on whatever that looks like?
Well, I was encouraged and surprised to hear that they are going to create a list. Of course, a list is not an indictment. It's not a conviction. It's not even a certainty that that person is guilty. But I think we need to start with the list and find out who on the list is guilty and what crimes did they commit. The most interesting thing I saw that was conceived today was Marjorie Taylor Greene's idea to take that lynching list and read it on the floor of the House of Representatives because we have speech or debate immunity that's guaranteed in the Constitution. So one of us, and I'd be glad to do the very same thing that she offered to do, to go to the floor of the House and read the list and not suffer any defamation cases or
Because that's privileged speech, you cannot be sued for what you say.
you can't be held to account in any other venue like a court for anything that you say on the floor of the House of Representatives. And 34,000 page document would be hard to release on the floor of the House of Representatives, but a list of 3 dozen names would not be hard to carry to the floor of the House of Representatives and read in 5 minutes, and perhaps read it every day.
A lot of your colleagues in the House say they're on the fence about this bill precisely because they believe that the DOJ has been transparent, that it is being transparent, and the vast majority of the documents already have been released. With what confidence can you say that the tip of the ice? We're just looking at I'm with World Magazine. It's a Christian publication.
Okay. How can you say that with a straight face?
I mean, I'm just saying what they're saying. Like, I think some of them really earnestly believe the DOJ is cooperating and it has put forward what it does have. I guess my question to you and to the attorneys too would be, what does the public not know about what the DOJ
You're
has?
a reporter, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have the same access to those documents my staff does. Right. Go look at the documents. You tell me if there's anything in there that would reveal any name of another co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein. Anything that might do that, like a flight log, is completely redacted. Their entire page is redacted. So it's on its face, observed. There's no reason to debate the knowable, right? So if this is an absolute certainty, I don't feel like I need to answer the question. But I will give you more evidence if you don't have time to go to the 34,000 files and compare those to what's already out there. I guess the biggest evidence that my bill would release more materials than the DOJ intends to release is the DOJ's opposition to my bill. If my bill is redundant, why are they undertaking all of this political pressure? Why is the president taking on so much criticism and expending so much political capital with independents, Democrats, and his own base on this issue? It's because our resolution doesn't say, pretty please, mother may I see those documents. It will have the force of law, unlike the Oversight Committee. But I am not against what the Oversight Committee is doing. Give it a good team try.
Sure. Congressman, I read your bill with Congressman Khanna, and you allow for the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to determine that if certain materials may jeopardize national security in some fashion, that those Epstein-related materials or Maxwell-related materials can continue to be withheld. Why give the Attorney General an out, given how nebulous those invocations of national security justifications can often be, to say, oh, because there could be some very tenuous connection to something national security related, we can keep perpetuity? Why even include that excuse in the bill?
You got to get 218 signatures, and if one of my colleagues thinks that we're going to compromise national security, they won't sign the bill.
How could it
So you
conceivably
have to-
jeopardize national security?
You have to put that in there if you're going to get them to sign. It's not something I would sit and say, let's put that in there. It's something that when you run the bill past other colleagues and say, can you sign this? In fact, can you get every Democrat to sign it? It's one of the things that was felt was necessary to put in there. By the way, I mean, they run a risk of criminal prosecution if they try to exploit that as a loophole and violate the law. If it's not truly national security. And by the way, we could, let's say they redact something and they say for national security reasons, I'm entitled to go see it. I could go to the skit and I could say, all right, let me see the redaction. And I could say, this is not national security. I could walk on the floor of the House and say, here's the redaction. I could say it without being prosecuted. And then they might not ever let me skip again. But there are ways around that. But, so,
I don't know if you saw earlier, but I was invited to the press conference by Congressman Khanna.
yeah, I thought you were really rude.
How so?
Congressman, Representative Luna, in actually connection to that, Representative Luna recently said that maybe one of the main reasons we're not dropping this list or releasing these files is due to connection to foreign entities and foreign intelligence. Is this a domestic issue? Is this billionaire power keeping this from being released, or is there truly something national security?
I think it's an international issue. Look, that's not speculation. That's in a court document from Epstein's first court case, right? That wasn't it Acosta who said that there are intelligence reasons, or he was an intelligence.
It was above his pay grade or something.
Yeah. So that needs to be exposed and would not compromise national security to know that. It might make people less trustful of the government, but we don't allow redactions for embarrassment or things like that. I agreed to meet with you.
Congressman, I have to ask, just because you said I was rude, I have to follow up on it really quickly.
Michael, you
How is it rude?
Michael, you
He got one answer. He can't answer it. He can't answer it. The first time he had stood up with by being bipartisan.
He's very happy to talk about.
It's the guy who made up the RFK sexual blackmail story, now doing an interview. What's that? I am, yeah. Where should I go? I'd rather stay here with you.
Michelle, just one thing. You are so cool. Oh, thank you. You don't know.
Thank you for
so much.
recognizing that was a legitimate question.
It was a legitimate question.
Michelle, did you hear that?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Did you want to take a photo?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I just did. Let me get back here. But heck yeah.
Do you know?
No, you guys are doing the right thing.
Mike, I want to go on record with you.
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
No, I want you to pull out your
This
phone.
is the first thing.
Pull out my phone?
Yeah.
I don't care to.
Well,
Why?
you just pulled your phone out when you were following me, so I was wondering.
No, I didn't. Okay. I'm recording audio. Is that what you mean?
I just want to put something on.
Okay, let's go. Hear it.
Do you know
I'm
Mike?
glad Michelle's
Yeah,
listening to this.
yeah, I know. He's a good guy.
I want to tell you, Mike.
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we go.
I love you.
Okay, this is a guy who made up a fake Department of Health and Human Services study to claim that up to 325,000 women and children were sexually trafficked in the United States every year.
Take a bath.
And I sent him an email asking, can you please send me a source or a citation to this? Because he went on Breaking Point's other shows making this claim. That's got Nick Bryant.
Yeah.
He published on Gawker in 2015 the so-called original Little Black Book. He's actually a fraud.
Yeah.
I don't use that term lightly.
I'm so glad you know him.
But he's actually a legitimate fraud. He's a fake NGO called Epstein Justice that he's here promoting. God knows what they do with the money. And so, I sent him a very polite email. Can you please, I'll send you the article if you want. Very polite email. Can you just send me the source or the citation for the study that you keep going around citing that says that there are hundreds of thousands of children sexually trafficked in the United States every year? And he says to me, this is almost a verbatim reply. You could find I'm sure you can find the information next time you log on to the NAMBLA website. So he's calling me a pedophile.
Oh, brother.
And so I got really razzed up at that point. I listened to him on some other podcasts. He was on with Chris Hedges, formerly of the New York Times, supposedly. And like every other sentence that came out of this guy's mouth, he's just making stuff up, like factually. Not that I disagree subjectively or on opinion. Factual falsehoods over and over again. There's zero standards on this story. People call me an Epstein apologist. I don't care about Jeffrey Epstein. I care about
Right.
mass
Doing
hysteria.
it right. Yeah, exactly.
I care about the collapse of journalistic
Yes.
standards.
Yes. Yes.
They threw me out of this press
Yes.
conference. I'm sorry.
They
You
should.
tell her what happened so I can have a second party tell it.
Well, you were just trying to ask your question,
Yeah.
and you were doing everything right, and then for no reason he threw you out. I mean, just like that.
About because you're asking about Virginia Roberts, right?
Who Bradley Edwards represented for years.
Yeah.
Is it not a legitimate question to ask?
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a legitimate.
No, they didn't like the question because there was no good answer to it.
That's right. That's
Did you hear the
exactly
question?
Right. They didn't like
Yeah,
it.
no, I mean, I to be honest, I haven't gone down the whole
I know.
rabbit hole.
Not many
but-
people have. Many people are very low information on this, so they just come and like absorb little snippets. They think,
Yeah.
oh my God, there's an internet. Like Democrats met with these people yesterday in the House Oversight Committee. There was a Democratic congresswoman who came out from New Mexico, Melanie Stansberg, and said, oh my God, this goes even deeper than we ever could imagine. There's an international sex trafficking organization now. It's being covered up by Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. I mean, who knows? So it's a moral panic. I'm sorry, and I really, I know.
But when you say it's a moral panic, I mean, because
Yeah.
do you? I mean,
And Sarah Rogers is here, who you know.
yeah, I know Sarah Rogers, but I mean, again, I understand. I know at least on the surface level about the discrepancies in Virginia
It goes well
Roberts.
beyond that.
But when you say it's a moral panic,
Okay.
do you think that like?
Just let me give you a little bit on. I would have loved to ask this question as well. Here comes Sarah, and Richard Hanania, who you might know. Oh yeah, you did a thing on Richard Hanania, right? So, okay, so they can vouch for you that I'm not totally crazy. All right.
You guys must know each other.
We've met.
Yeah, we've met.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's probably gotten annoyed with me at times, but I get annoyed with myself, so it doesn't matter. I actually have said that you're one of the few New York Times columnists that I will read.
Oh, thank you.
You and
Very nice.
you and Daphne.
Thank you so much.
Haven't I said that?
Yes, you have said that.
Okay, I'm not just buttering you up.
We all say pro Michelle Goldberg things in our chat.
You're like the only non-totally hysterical liberal columnist.
I'm quite hysterical. I mean,
You are, but at least
She
you're a good
talks
writer.
calmly.
okay, thanks.
Okay, just like so two of the people who spoke today. Did you see the whole thing? There was this woman. No. The quote alleged victims. Sorry, they haven't been adjudicated victims in any adversarial process.
Right.
So, except if you want to say the Maxwell trial, which I'll stipulate that, but she's wrongly imprisoned. I know that sounds crazy to say, which is true. Anushka Degorgiou, a British woman.
Yeah.
By the way, they say all these victims came from trailer parks and whatnot. She was from a posh family in London. That was how she went to Maxwell's house in Belgravia, very posh section of London.
Yeah, I
What
saw
is
the
that?
interview.
What is
No,
that?
they're saying different socioeconomic status. Just noting it.
I saw the interview.
And Annie Farmer. Okay. So they were two of the four victims that testified at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial in 2021. The judge, Alison Nathan, otherwise extremely pro-prosecution, allowed Anushka Degorgiou to testify under a fake name, even though before the trial she had given press conferences. She went to the courthouse in New York City. She had done an NBC News interview with her real name. The judge still so pro-prosecution, she allowed her to testify under a fake name, supposedly to protect her safety.
Right.
Even though they never established how her safety could be at threat. By the end of the trial, the judge said that Annie Farmer and Anushka Degorgiou could not be considered by the jurors. This was like a formal jury instruction to the jurors. The jurors were not to consider those two victims as having been subjected to any, quote, illegal sexual activity for the purposes of convicting Maxwell. So in other words, they were not sexual abuse victims legally, sorry I spit, according to the judge. So that's huge context, right? I mean, of course nobody's going to mention that here, because then you're re-traumatizing victims or something.
So what's your overarching theory?
My overarching theory? Okay, I'll give you the overarching theory.
Wait, I try to articulate in a nutshell what I think Michael's theory is.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm wrong, I think Michael's theory.
Does anybody
is
have some water? I'm dying.
Yeah, I have to go get water too. I'm gonna pass out.
I think his theory is that even though Epstein kind of may have been a creep, and there's evidence that girl was, groomed from the Mar-a-Lago spa, that there's not a lot of evidence of child sexual abuse.
Thank you so much.
And that there's no evidence of pedo blackmail conspiracy.
I'll give you.
Michelle, take the first drink.
I'll do a sip off my lips and I'll give it to you.
That's okay. Thank you so much. Well, I'm not sure I can manage that.
I met my hero, Michelle Goldberg. I watch her every night. I start at 6 with all of them. Lawrence O'Donnell, and I love it. You're so calm.
This lady was defending me.
Yeah, you're so calm and you speak so well.
And she wanted to selfie.
Every point you make, any intelligent listener would say, yeah, I get it now because you explain it.
Thank you.
And I really mean that.
Thomas Massey said I was rude, and then
I saw you stand there completely with you.
Thomas Massey said I was rude, and you yelled and defended me, right?
Yeah, I did. I said, no. Let me tell you, these Republicans, you got to stand up to him. You got to yell at him. And
I
like
don't know
Lawrence
what's up
O'Donnell
with
says,
Massey.
ask a freaking hard question.
Massey's like some Me Too activist now
right?
or something.
Republican? Are you
He
Republican?
is.
Yeah.
Believe women.
They can't answer.
So I'll give you my base. I'll sketch out my basic theory. I mean, it's hard to kind of distill. It's very complex. You know, it's insane. Here's my elevator pitch at this point. I say that approximately 90% of what people think they know about this whole Epstein story is either wildly exaggerated or outright fictitious. And there's 10% that is much more legitimate. You can get into the 10%. It has to do with Palm Beach girls that in the early 2000s who were like recruiting one another. Actually, one of them spoke today, Haley Robson.
Yeah.
Do you know that she basically admits that she recruited girls in her age group?
Well, she spoke about it.
I know, but she also told them to lie about their ages.
Oh, okay, she did that.
Read Julie K. Brown's book.
Yeah, I've read her book.
Yeah, it's in the book.
But that's kind of, how is that inconsistent with?
No, it's not inconsistent. I'm just saying, well, it's just like a factor here that if you just cast these people as just generic victims, it gets lost. So, but here's just to, sorry, give me two more sentences and I'll let you go. So here's the main exaggeration that I'm contending is essentially fictitious. It's the theory that Epstein was orchestrating a massive child sex trafficking operation that he was enforcing by blackmail to entrap legions of prominent men and then blackmail them essentially. There's virtually zero credible evidence for that anywhere ever. It all stems from Virginia Giuffre, who this Bradley Edwards character represented, got probably $30 million for her from phony settlements. And I asked a question about it. It was a pretty straightforward question. Maybe you think I'm aggressive or annoying, fine. But like, it's a legitimate question, and they just wouldn't answer it.
Right.
And then they threw me out. So what does that tell you?
That tells you they're afraid.
Ro Khanna's staff invited me to come to this.
That's what Lawrence O'Donnell says.
I also kind of, I also think it's a difficult question to ask when her brother is here sobbing.
Sorry, I got to ask difficult questions. It's a political event. It's a political press conference.
Yeah, that's the kind of problem with all
Lawrence O'Donnell says